use worms to break down food.
You're adding your kitchen scraps into the compost bin for your worms to eat.
It saves money. It improves the health of the soil. It allows it to retain water and moisture for longer periods of time.
A little vermicompost bin is all you need.
It provides a source of food for your chickens, fish, or other livestock. Hello everyone, I'm Stefan.
Hi, I'm Julia.
And today we're going to talk to you about 10 reasons why you might want to consider vermicomposting. Let's get into the video.
But Stefan, what is vermicomposting anyway?
Interesting question. It's the process in a controlled environment where you use worms to break down food, and they turn that food into worm castings. So that's worm doo-doo. It makes an excellent form of compost that provides vital nutrients for plants and vegetables that we're going to use in our gardens.
Reason 1, it diverts waste from landfills. When you feed your worms, you're adding your kitchen scraps into the compost bin for your worms to eat. But this means it doesn't end up in a landfill.
Number 2, it improves the health of the soil. So it adds valuable nutrients to the ground, which in turn makes healthier plants and vegetables. Number 3, it saves money. It eliminates the needs for you to go and buy your own compost or synthetic fertilizers, pesticides.
Number 4, it improves biodiversity. Worm castings added to your garden will improve the amount of microbes and beneficial bacteria in the soil. Number 5, worm castings help reduce pests in the soil. Contain high levels of something called chitinase. Chitinase is a natural insect repellent. It can repel things like aphids and whiteflies. Aphids and whiteflies both like to eat a large number of vegetables that you find in a typical garden.
Number 6, it decreases water usage. You see, compost improves the structure of the soil. It allows it to retain water and moisture for longer periods of time and more efficiently.
Number 7, it's easy to set up and maintain. If all you want is castings to create your own homemade plant fertilizer or to be able to compost your kitchen scrap, a little vermicompost bin is all you need. And that can fit even in a little space in your home.
Number 8, this can be done indoors, so it's actually suitable for those of you living in an urban setting. Oh, let's see, we're gonna make this fit very nicely. Number 9, it provides a source of food for your chickens, fish, or other livestock. See, the cool thing about vermicomposting is that the worms reproduce and they make a very healthy source of protein for, like I said, in this case, our little chickens.
Number 10, it's better for the environment. Because you're not using synthetic fertilizers, you're enhancing soil health, and you're reducing your kitchen scraps. All of these things are good for the environment.
Well, now that we showed you why we like the vermicomposting, we'll show you how our particular unit works. Jules, what kind is this?
This is the Herbalife Worm Farm. We'll link it down in the description below. We really like this unit because it's quite aesthetic. It blends in with our furniture. We can, just tuck it in behind our dining room table. People don't really notice it, or if they do, they're just curious and wondering what that is. You would never know it's a worm farm inside.
That's right. Now, this particular unit, just because it was specifically made for this, was kind of expensive, but you can actually do this or construct it with virtually anything.
Yeah, you could take any sort of container lying around your house, make levels, or even just use one container and feed the worms on one side at a time so that you can collect the castings on the other side of that single container. If you have levels like this one, then it's a bit different.
So the way it works, when you first get it, there is a small grate and a filter about halfway through. So you put your bedding that you need to there, and you put your first initial worms in there. And then when they compost, whatever water comes out goes into a container here, and you can collect the worm leachate down here. We prefer making the worm tea to fertilize our things.
Worm leachate, the residual water coming from your worm farm, is not the same as worm tea fertilizer for your plant.
You can still very much give nutrients to your plants by diluting this with a lot of water because it's very potent just on its own.
And this can contain harmful bacteria, especially if there's a bad smell, if it's been a long time since you've collected the leachate. So especially for edible plants, I would not use worm leachate for edible plants. But for non-edible plants that are just decorations, if you dilute it a lot, you might be able to use it a little bit.
Now, as time goes and you get more and more worms to reproduce and they have more, you want to put more content, just keep adding levels. These levels just have grates. The worms can move from the content up here into the next where you're putting more food down for them to break down, and then so on and so forth. We have up to 3 levels in here.
So why don't we show you inside the worm farm?
Level 1, you see there's the filter filter and some of the original content in there.
This is the filter. And if I were to lift this filter, underneath is just the leachate or water. And above are the castings, the castings produced by the worms.
Looks like there's still a few worms kicking around on the first floor. Here's our second level.
This, because it's been a couple months, has also been almost completely turned into castings, otherwise known as black gold or worm poop.
Very good. And our last level is where we're actively putting our compost down in food, mixing it up. And this is where most of the worms are hiding out.
So this is also at least half castings now, but originally this was all coconut coir and other types of bedding that we put in here for the worms to live in, and then we add our food scraps on top. After a few months, the worms turn all of the bedding into 100% worm castings, and that's when you can harvest those castings and use them in your garden. If you'd like to know how to make your own worm tea from worm castings, we'll link in the description below a video where we show you exactly how we do that, so we can feed our plants, mainly our edible plants, for our vegetable garden.
If you like this video, check out this next room. This is our grow room. Check out this video where we show you how we actually set this up right here.